The first one is the implementation of digital tax stamps, and essentially what we are going to do, or I don't know if there are many smokers in the room, but if you have been smoking cigarettes, then you've seen a stamp that we affix on the cigarette boxes. This other person who isn't, we don't want the one who is not meeting these standards to compete with a genuine producer. And we also want to protect the Ugandan consumer against consumption of the other product, which might actually be dangerous or harmful. Mobile phone or other devices that we shall give you. And this is expected to start Tanzania or indeed Rwanda. You may have seen these already implemented in our partner states in the ESC. And these ones, significant importers and wholesalers, supermarkets and telecoms. Improvements in our internal systems, you will take a look at those. And just for the record, we will be starting with the returns which some of you are going to submit within the next few days, the income tax return, looking for inconsistencies and coming back to you and taking the necessary measures. This is also going to apply to rental tax, which will also be matching what we have, the data inside, with our field inspection. We are also a program which is the Taxpayer Register Expansion Program, and we are working with detection. We have had a program to detect fraud, and particularly for VAT, and we are continuing to do this. So we'll be looking very keenly at the types of transactions that people are implementing, and we'll also be looking very keenly at the register. And our purpose, of course, is to recover revenue, but also to prosecute those who are engaging in this kind of fraud. A few focus just to highlight for you. There are some 5,027 taxpayers who continue to provide inconsistent balances in their returns. We are going to look at this. There are those who have about 163 large and medium taxpayers with suspect stock movements. We are going to look at this. 8,791 with suspicious balance sheet activity. So this is from our data. 696 cases where assets that are owned by people do not match the income tax that is declared. This includes high-value vehicles and high-value properties, houses, etc. We'll be looking at this. And 40,729 who are involved in the abuse of the taxpayer identification number, the TIN. We are also going to be looking at these ones. I do thank you. That is it from me, and the rest is from my colleague.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I invite the Commissioner of Customs, allow me at this moment to invite the Commissioner General Uganda Revenue Authority, in turn to invite the Minister of Finance to address this congregation. Commissioner General.
State for Planning, Honorable David Fahati. We have been running Know Your Budget Month starting from May, and this has comprised a number of activities, CSR activities, budget engagements, an accountability week at the Independence Grounds. We also had regional budget breakfasts similar to this one, explaining the budget to the citizens in 6 regions. And Honorable Minister, this budget breakfast is the culmination of the Know Your Budget Month, which we have done in partnership with the CS Bank. Mr. Julius Mukunda is here, and also with the Ministry of Finance taking the lead. Honorable Minister, I would now like to invite you to come and deliver your keynote address in this final Know Your Budget Breakfast Month to the people that are gathered here. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Doris. The Honorable Minister for Kampala Affairs, Honorable Betty Kamia, distinguished guests who have come to attend this breakfast, ladies and gentlemen, budget breakfast meetings are I've never seen a successful breakfast on the budget access like this one, so I'm very excited that we get to visit the organizers, the URA, the Director Budget, and our partners, the civil society, organizing this important meeting. I'm now not scared, I'm not fearing that we will not attain the 19 trillion or set ourselves to, because as you know, we have been getting 15 trillion from URA. Next financial year, our target is 19 trillion. So when you come in big numbers, you comfort me that actually we are going to finance our budget 100%. So I'm very happy that we get it. The purpose for this breakfast is really to break down what we read on Thursday, 13th June 2019 in the budget. Try as much as possible make all the stakeholders, all the citizens of Uganda understand what is in the budget for them and for the country. We presented the budget speech on that day for financial 2019-20, and our focus of the speech, was on interventions aimed at increasing wealth and improving the livelihoods of all Ugandans. So the theme for next financial year's budget remains, and it has been for the last 2 years, industrialization for job creation and shared prosperity. Before I highlight the budget strategy so that we can all understand and interventions for 2019-20, let me provide some highlights into the achievements made for the financial 2018-2019. Last week after the budget, I met a young man on the street and he said, we heard you say that the theme for this year is industrialization for job creation and shared prosperity. What exactly do you mean by shared prosperity? We don't mean that we have a bread or a cake which we are going to cut and then we distribute to everybody. What we mean by shared prosperity is actually growing opportunities for everybody to grow your incomes, so that as the country, as the nation grows, as our GDP grows, you should also grow your income. It might not be at the same rate, but at least each one of us must feel that growth in their pockets. It means increasing environment where you can invest your money and make money. It means extending services to you, to your families, so that you can enjoy this prosperity as the nation grows. So last year, which is now the current year, Uganda's economy has recovered and picked momentum, growing at over 6% per annum over the last 2 years. With the progress in economic growth, average incomes of Ugandans have increased to $825 per person, and this was from 800 during the financial year 2017-18. The structure of the economy has changed. The share of industry in the economy is now 21%, compared to 11.3% in 1983. Services have increased 48.7% from 32% over the same period. Export performance has been excellent, with diversification leading to non-traditional cash crops earning Uganda 2.84 billion last financial year, compared to traditional crops which earned 0.79 billion in the same year. The national grid electricity connections have increased to 1.3 million customers, and the electrification access rate is rising from 1% in 2001 to over 13% in 2019. Many few factories have been opened in the course of financial year, but I must state here that in 1986, we only had 80 factories. As we speak, we have 4,900 factories. A huge success, and we want to appreciate you because many of you are in this room are manufacturers. By the way, I didn't recognize the presence of the Director General for Prisons. This is my first time to see him at this budget meeting. I know you are checking on your potential clients. We'll try as much as possible that we don't become like that. As a result, the proportion of Uganda products in supermarkets has increased from 15% in financial 2017-18 to 45% in financial 2018-19. Our target is to reach 50% by 2020. However, despite the positive milestones, we are still faced with some major development challenges, including unemployment, widening income inequality between rural and urban areas, and malnutrition still remain. So our economic strategy for this coming financial year will be based on the following. The objective for the budget for 2019-20 is to continue to commercialize subsistence agriculture. And the President has spoken about this figure, and it's important for the 7.8 million households we have are in subsistence agriculture. They are able to grow things, have enough to eat, but less to sell to the market. That's a real challenge, and that's our focus, to make sure that we bring as many people as possible from the subsistence economy to the cash economy, and in that way also we expand our tax base. And to increase GDP growth and ensure that it is inclusive, thereby increasing the incomes of the population. Accordingly, the economic growth strategy for financial 2019-20 focuses on 3 pillars. 1, expanding the industrial base of the economy. 2, exploiting the natural resource environment with environment protection in mind, commercializing agriculture and development of tourism and minerals. You see how much money actually were allocated in the tourism sector. And when we talk about these sectors like agriculture, islands on their own, they are integrated with the other sectors. If you build a road to Guinea, you are supporting the tourism sector. If you do irrigation, resources are allocated to the water sector, but they support agriculture because you need water for irrigation. And the Uganda Development Bank supports you business people to give you cheap credit at a reasonable interest rate in this financial year. The priority, somebody wanted to clap for that. I will comment. The priority intervention for the budget for financial 2019-20 are therefore centered along the following clusters. 1, enhancing key primary growth sectors, increasing infrastructure access and reliability, human capital development, and maintaining peace, security, and good governance. Enhancing the primary growth sectors will include industrialization, among others. In order to speed up industrial growth, the budget for financial 2019-20 will undertake following key priority actions: development of industrial park and export processing zone. For example, we have mobilized close 200 million euros to construct and modernize Namanda Industrial Park, and the project should start in the next 3 months because we are waiting to sign the final agreement with the UKF in the UK. We are also looking at Mbale and other industrial parks. So we think that in the next 2 years or 3, most of these industrial parks will be fully serviced and ready to receive investors to start constructing factories there. The second point is reforming the technical and vocational education and training to provide the skills required in the job market, to bridge the gap between the required skills in the market and the skills that we are building in the technical education. Provide support to industrial research and innovation, establishment of regional science and innovation hubs, and extending investment incentives. And I would want many of you, as many have come here, especially those of you in business, please listen to the URA officials. Try as much as possible to learn these incentives. We have tried as much as possible to ensure that we give you incentives to invest, and they are all now in the road. We are no longer, we had that problem a few years ago where many investors were saying, why are you favoring this one against this one? So what we did was to formalize all our investments into law. Everything now is in the law. Please understand, I hope that Doris will be able even to give them copies or a website where they can go and look at the incentives that we have and take advantage of these incentives. Commercialization of agriculture will include provision of storage facilities and linking farmers to agro-processing facilities to support agro-industrialization. Delivery of quality inputs and services. Development of irrigation, providing small solar-powered irrigation systems for at least for the last mile irrigation. And to this end, we have mobilized cabinet 2 weeks ago passed a loan of 100 million euros to provide close to 1,000 small-powered irrigation systems. Our target is at least reach every constituency with an irrigation system and then set up a factory where these solar-powered systems can be purchased for those who are able. But at least we are showing an example, and close to that 400 million will be invested in this year. Tourism development and promotion. Next financial, the following actions will be taken to support the sector. 1, aggressive marketing of Uganda's tourism in key markets, tourist products and development. And many of you who are traveling, those who are in the business of imports and others, please, when you go out, try as much as possible to market your country. Because when you market your country, you grow your country, you bring in more revenues. Go with a leaflet wherever you are going, even if it's somewhere in Guangzhou, China. Please talk about your country. Talk about the potential for tourism in your country. Invite people to come. As you do that, you are in a way contributing to the growth of the economy of your country. Reduction in the minimum investment threshold, and Mr. Saka has tried to show you what we have done in terms of investments, of incentives, and please take advantage of that. Upgrade and renovation of key tourism infrastructure. Then we have commercialization of minerals, oils, and gas. The key strategic actions required to commercialize this sector include: one, the airborne geographical survey of Karamoja region. We have a lot of potential for minerals in Karamoja and other areas, so we are going to explore that area and make sure that we take advantage of the God-given resource to develop our country. The exploration of the 18 priority mineral target areas for rare earths and metallic minerals, and establishment of a certified mineral assay laboratory. Increasing infrastructure access and reliability will take the following interventions. One, investment in transmission lines to industrial parks and growth centers, development and maintenance of the national and district urban community access roads, extending the national backbone infrastructure for these districts, development of hydropower dams, including Ayako, that will be 840 megawatts, Oringa, 392 megawatts, Kiba, 330 megawatts, and Ubu, 600 megawatts. We will continue to subsidize the cost of electricity connections. Over 300,000 connections are targeted annually, and promoting and facilitating the use of renewable energy, such as solar system for lighting rural homes and for the national grid. And many of you have traveled the country, you can see what actual investment in infrastructure is doing. To be able to move from Solo to Koboko on a tarmac road. And somebody also again, I met some young man who said, but do I eat a tarmac road? Those questions are very interesting, and I'm sure that we'll be able to answer all of them today here. So take advantage of the infrastructure. Yes, the infrastructure, you will not eat it, but the infrastructure will facilitate you to grow your business. That's the environment we are talking about. That's the shared prosperity we are talking about. On the front of human capital development, during the financial year, this coming financial year, we will focus on skilling the youth, functionalizing health and education units countrywide, improving supplies of medicine, enhancing of salaries. Our targets, our plan for these social sectors were that every sub-county in Uganda should have a functioning health center 3. Out of 1,600, close to that, sub-counties we have in Uganda, we are remaining with 310 sub-counties without a secondary school. Our plan was to have, rather a health unit, to have a secondary school per sub-county again. We only have remaining with 387. So on most of the things that we have planned actually to do, we are close to 80% just in five years. Now you imagine if you give us another mandate for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, how much can we do? It will be a lot. Improve access to safe water in both rural and urban communities. And on the front of maintaining the peace and security, especially the fight against crime, the project of installing CCTV cameras, especially in the city, is almost near to completion. Please note that as you drive, as you do things, the state on the streets, we are watching, and this has helped. You remember a few months ago, somebody who was speaking phones from somebody has helped actually to the police for some leads, and that's why we are reducing what we are bothering a lot. Dr. Biabashisha in the prisons now, it's a contradiction. He now needs more money to expand the prisons and modernize them. So we hope that this crime will come down using technology. So the CCTV camera is moving on well, and our plan is to expand this project to towns and cities across the country in the next few years. So the budget for next financial year will be financed through your contribution. And I want to repeat here that paying tax is not a punishment. It's actually an opportunity for the citizens of Uganda to make a contribution to developing your country. And as we collect these taxes, we are also mindful that we must be accountable to you. And that's why every year and every time we are organizing these dialogues so that we can be accountable to you. This money that you have collected from us, what has it done? Your government has been very faithful with the money that we have collected from you, and every other time we have an opportunity, we do explain to you what it has achieved. So we'll get money from you, the taxes, we'll borrow part of it, and also we will get some contribution from our government partners. But largely, we are depending on the tax revenue. Our target is 18.7 trillion. Doris and her team have done very well. We gave them a target of 15 trillion. And they collected even more by 342 billion. So they need to be appreciated. And because of that good performance, we thought that we had actually not exploited all the potential that you have. And we said the target is 18.87 trillion. And Doris is depending on you. And we are trying to simplify the tax system so that paying tax is not a hassle, is not a puzzle. You can now pay online. We have put a whole structure here in Akawa so that you can enter one building and solve all your problems. Our staff are ready to simplify this tax system. They are ready to serve you. And please, the services they are offering is for free. Is for free. Don't tempt them by bribing them, okay? Because also it is a two-way thing. Corruption is not a one-way. Sometimes you also tempt them. You process for me this quickly. No, it is for free. If they are lazy, we take action. So please don't tempt our staff. They are offering you free services. Make sure that you take advantage of that, and they are ready to do that. So on the issue of debt remains sustainable in the medium to long term. As of December 2018, debt was at 41.8% of GDP in nominal terms and 31.7% of GDP in present value terms. And Kenneth and his group will be going down into this. But the issue is that we set ourselves a target, a threshold of 50%. In terms of debt to GDP, and we have been very cautious on how much we borrow because we know the cost of debt. And we want to assure Ugandans that we shall never, not under the general government, go back to that period when actually we had to beg to be forgiven for debt. We are managing our debt very well, and we are not going to put this country in any danger because of debt. So people should not get scared. The civil society sometimes, the mothers, sometimes they like alarming. They like alarming, not him but others. They have to very good this financial year, they have to do that very well. And when they talk about that, you might think that you have seen even things on WhatsApp. A little girl carrying a burden and saying, oh my God, what will I do for this debt? No. We are very cautious about this. And we think that in a few years, when we start getting our own oil, then we're free. We pay off some of this debt and start enjoying our own resources. So, on the front of debt, Uganda is sustainable. We are not going to put our country in any danger. The only challenge which we have with the debt management is the implementation. When we borrow this money, we need accounting officers who are very flexible to move very fast and implement these projects. When these projects are implemented, they provide businesses for you. Those of you who are in construction, those of you who are offering services, they provide business for you. But when we don't implement on time, then that becomes a problem. That's the challenge that we are trying now to address. And to ensure debt sustainability, we are focusing on time execution of loan finance projects to increase ability to pay back and hasten realization of expected gross dividends, contracting loan on concessional terms. Out of our debt structure, 80% of it, close to 80%, is on concessional terms, meaning we pay interest of less than 1% and for a period of beyond 35 years. And then the balance is on commercial terms. We also, and most of this debt we are borrowing is for infrastructure. It's not for consumption, it's for production. That's the strategy we have to ensure that our debt remains sustainable. That's right, diversifying our financing options and aligning the nature of borrowing to projects, e.g. commercial loans will be directed to self-financing projects and infrastructure. In conclusion, I want to thank you for coming to attend this post-budget breakfast. I want to assure the nation once again that the development strategy for 2019-20 aims at accelerating industrialization and growth that is inclusive, that Uganda's public debt remains sustainable, and complementary measures will continue to be taken to diversify our financing options and increase domestic revenue mobilization to reduce reliance on debt. And finally, to thank you, the taxpayers, for turning up in big numbers and to know that we are depending on you to finance this budget, and as you finance it, you have our assurance that we shall give you the services that the NRM government has promised you. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Processed coffee, we feel we have enough coffee here, but if you want imported coffee, pay us at 60%. Equally for processed tea, breads, and then potato crisps and chips, and then onions. All this is done in a bid to promote local content.
It means one thing, it means that my director of budget will have this appetite to go and borrow more money, since now we can be able to generate our own money. I think that's one thing that we take. Yeah. But also to say that this National Budget Fund has been one that has brought together civil society organizations and the government on one common cause, that we are going to collect money and we are going to spend it in different ways. And I think for me, this is the way to go. First of all, is that also add is that let us also look at what this budget is bringing us. I think it's a fact that our investment in infrastructure has brought dividends. My minister was just left told me that nowadays I can travel from Chisoro to Kokobo in one day. And I think it's good. But also, we are glad that funding for agriculture has increased. A trillion Uganda shilling is something that we cannot take for granted. And I think for me, that's very good and very important. Especially that we are going to construct storage facilities. Remember when these went to the road, 200 shillings per kilogram. I'm hoping that this time around we are going to see stable prices in agriculture. Above all, for the first time we are hearing the language of taxing for production. It's not the other one of looking for targets. We need to hit the target. So we must get money in any form, in any way. And for me, this is music to my ears, because when we started Google, people are saying, what are you going to produce? But we are now being told that 45% of the products in our supermarkets are Ugandan products. Secondly, is that also we are beginning to hear issues to deal with protecting our local markets. For heaven's sake, how could somebody import potatoes? I didn't know we import potatoes from Egypt. With all the potatoes we have in this country, I'm told our potatoes are not shipped well. So, Madam Commissioner, I think these are some of the things that is going to increase our production. Is that when you say we are going to let you produce and tax what you have produced, is better than to say you set up a market, you set up a business and immediately somebody comes to collect tax even before you have started in the production. So that's kudos, that's good, and we support that the current form of tax definitely is going to improve productivity. We also welcome the tax reforms that you have mentioned. And for me, it is about, if we are all importing peanuts and one person is paying less than the other, then that is going to destroy the business. If we are on the same street and we are paying different taxes, that is going to destroy the business. Because the other person has the ability to avoid paying the tax, and me, I can't. As such, the introduction of the electronic fiscal devices, the tracking systems, is a welcome idea, because this is going to ensure that each and every one of us pays their fair share of taxes. However, we need to ensure that each and every person pays their fair share. Why? If I'm a salon person based in one area, I'm paying tax, and somebody is having 100 liters of milk per day, is technically there, they are not paying tax. That is an equation we need to look at. At least we need something from everybody to pay their fair share of taxes. That way, it will encourage everybody to ensure that they pay. We are also glad, like I said, that this video for the first time has been open and transparent. What we have found out is that, yes, the population right now knows and understands how money is being spent, but there is still that gap. Populations are still hungry, Madam Commissioner, on where money is coming from. And I think we need more of this to ensure that all of us are at par. Tax education is very, very important. Also, the other issue is simplification. We are glad that we are seeing more tax education, simplifying most of the taxes. But let me also look at how can we improve our tax base. I think this is also very important. We can only improve our tax base if all of us pay our share of taxes. We can only improve our tax base if our tax exemptions are also transparent. And I think this goes to my Minister of Finance, is that we need to understand that if we give somebody an exemption, we need to follow it through. If you have come and promised us that you're going to employ a number of people, you're going to invest a number of this amount of money, we need to follow that through. We are tired of an investor coming and they end up becoming panicking investors and competing with our panicking, our people, our own people. We can also improve our tax base if we also use our taxes better. And I think for me, this is an issue that has come from that if I know my Morocco hospital has been financed by my own resources, it encourages me to pay. If I know the Cancer Institute has been funded by our own resources, it will encourage us to pay. If I know my money is going to be paying OTT for somebody else, then it becomes difficult for me. And if I know that we don't pay taxes on certain allowances for some people, then we get that for us. My point is, we would all love to pay, and it is important that we all pay our fair share of our taxes, all of us, in which we will come. The other important, and towards the end, is we can improve our taxes if we also improve our business environment. Access to affordable credit is still a big challenge for our small-scale enterprises. Access to finance. We know UDB has been financed, given more money, but between you and me, we know that if a salon operator, you want to go to UDB to ask for a loan. As such, we would like government to look at areas we have we can be able to ensure we have affordable credit for small-scale enterprises. Going forward, three things. One is fellow citizens. The work plans and budgets are out. It is our job and responsibility to go out and see what ministries and sectors have planned so that we can monitor. That small primary school and health center belongs to you. Please ensure that you approach it and see that it's functioning. None of us here is going to go to a district health center to see whether it's functioning. It is only you who is near it who is using it. Make sure that the budget is displayed and also you follow it to make sure it functions. But also, let us know who are the taxpayers, who has not paid, and who is supposed to pay. If we know people, they have mentioned a number of people who are in the suspicious category. We need to identify those, because when they don't pay, our ministry is going to borrow more money. And when it borrows more money, then we are going to pay more interest and have less money to finance our own resources. Secondly is the budget for financial 2018-19 is over. We are looking forward for performance. Those who promised us 10 boreholes, did they do them? Those who promised us to the classrooms, did they do them? So we will be looking out for those areas and receive also for your support. Last also is please, we look forward for more tax education, more tax accountability. Who has paid and who has not paid is very critical if we want to improve this country. I thank all of you. I thank the Minister of Finance. I thank the Federal Authority for giving us a platform to educate the public on where our money is coming from and how we're spending it. Thank you so much.
Wow. Not long ago, we were on different pages with CISPA. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the presence of someone who makes those approaching 50 or beyond 50 smile as they retire from active employment. And this is Mr. Richard Yarugaba, MD, NSSF. You're welcome. I think that is less than sufficient for a gentleman that really much better, thank you. I now want to invite, and CISPA has made or have made towards the improvement of the budget breakfast. Ladies and gentlemen, I now want to invite I've challenged a number of people before and said, those who are not in the private sector, put up your hands. Those who are not in the private sector, put up your hands. And literally you find that all of us indeed, many people, that a budget, a national budget, is always about the private sector. It's about building the business environment. When you talk about health, education, roads, or the rest of infrastructure, water and sanitation, environment, energy, it's about the private sector. It's about how we produce and how we consume. All of us do that. To thank the Ministry of Finance, and particularly the Minister of Finance, for a well-delivered, designed and delivered budget. We in the private sector, all of us in the private sector have appreciated the budget policy, the budget strategy, because it comes out quite nicely. When you look at the allocations, I think it speaks quite nicely to the national development plan, aspirations and priorities. But the challenge that we always have, and I will come to this, is the implementation of the budget and monitoring budget performance. And I said, the reason we always miss our targets are mainly three things. If I may forget them, let me mention them at the outset. One is governance. Governance. The systems, the procedure, the processes
Are they resilient? Are they robust enough to handle the implementation? And this goes to the institutions that are supposed to implement budget policy. How are our institutions set up? Who is running these institutions? What targets have we given them? And then that speaks to the human resource, which is the third thing. Human resource. Do we have what it takes in these institutions to deliver on this budget? Commissioner General and your team, and the Minister of Finance team, and the rest of us, I think we must appreciate and pat ourselves on the back. Because last year, we were talking about 6 trillion in tax mobilization. Now we're talking about close to 20. If you look at, I think it's fairly above 20 trillion, both tax and non-tax revenue, which is a good thing. That is an increase of almost 20% within 1 year. So we really want to appreciate the tax effort in this country. But that does not only go by tax administration, creating efficiency in tax administration. I think all of us in the private sector must clap for ourselves. So the job well done, and I want to appreciate the Commissioner General for always gathering us to appreciate the taxpayer. And you have always done that year on year. Thank you very much. The business environment, which is focused by this budget, is meant to drive investments. So when we look at the theme, industrialization for job creation and shared prosperity, literally, you cannot drive industry without creating opportunities, without creating the environment that it takes to establish and grow these industries, small, medium, or large. And I want to say that every time you talk about building a tax base, you can't run away from investments, establishing investments, because the entire tax structure is about how well these investments have been established and are growing. It's about excise duty, it's about VAT, it's about pay as you earn, that's employment, it's about income tax. You make money, you pay more, because you're making money. You employ more, we get more pay as you earn. Because you are making money, you can't employ more if you have not expanded your investments. And you cannot expand your investments if the investment climate warrants. And that's what the budget is about. When you look at the rankings in terms of allocation, roads and works, transport, 6.4 trillion, that's a good thing. Because all of us appreciate that part of the challenge for this country in terms of competitiveness is how we have laid out our infrastructure, especially roads, so that we can be able to evacuate what we are producing out there into the market and be able to export. And that's very good. So being able to move from Isoro to Oboko and from Busia to Bondo and so on is a very good thing. But these are trunk roads. The minister, in his speech, appreciated that there is a big divide between the rural and the urban. If you listen, the minister said there is a growing income inequality, a growing disparity between the rural and urban. And so that means that much as we have done the trunk roads, we need to pay a lot of attention on the rural feeder roads. The roads that will be responsible for evacuating what we're producing in the rural areas, especially in agriculture, into the market. Now, if you are able to come from Kamwenge and get into Mbarara and sell your milk, or come from down Kaputora with your base, coming to Mbale or wherever it is, then quite likely we are not going to benefit from the regional markets and the market far away until we are able, as private sector, to market internally and competitively so, it will be difficult for us to take advantage of the regional markets. Now, the shift therefore from the private sector, and we have, as I said, we have appreciated this budget to to a level of 82%. If this was a manifesto laid out by the minister for votes, I think the private sector would have voted up to 82%. That's what they said. Only on Monday, that's what they said, Monday last week, when we gathered to appreciate the budget. They said, yes, what we thought should be in the budget has indeed been mentioned, and we think that the budget focus and strategy is good. That's what I started with. But the thing is, we have concentrated a lot on non-tradables, which is very good. Energy, roads, and so on. These are non-tradables. And we are borrowing. Half of this budget is going to be borrowed. It's not going to be mobilized from here. I told you 20 trillion, only 20 trillion do we see in tax and non-tax. So if we have a 40 trillion budget, 20 trillion are going to be mobilized from elsewhere. Both domestically borrowed, and of course you know what that means, but also from elsewhere. So we are leveraging on other taxpayers from elsewhere. But the thing is, when we get this and we are supposed to sustain this debt and service it, I think it only goes without saying that we need to gradually shift our focus from non-tradables to tradables. Tradables are those things that you go with in the market. Tourism, agriculture, but the things that you sell in the market to fetch foreign exchange to be able to help you pay back the debts that you accumulate. So, if we do not have direct focus on coordination and developing linkages between agriculture and industry, because that is the theme for this year. And we know that our industries are agro-led, they are agro-based. Then if we don't have the linkages well robust enough between industry and provide market to agriculture, then quite likely we are in for a wealth loss. And if we are in for a wealth loss, we cannot sustain our debt. We have a debt growing, we have a growing debt challenge. The minister mentioned that government would be borrowing from the level of about 600 billion to 1.6 billion this year, domestic borrowing. And to me, of the private sector, that means that we are going to get our loans quite expensively, because obviously we know that once government steps up the level of borrowing, domestic borrowing, and without any cuts, then we have a challenge, because that's one of the key determinants of interest rates when you go to the bank. So if interest rates today are 25%, and we all know none of us, at least not in agriculture, can make return on investment as high as 25%. Then, if you are talking about industrialization for job creation, and we know that our industries are growing, we have a challenge. Agriculture cannot borrow at double digit. We can't borrow at double digit in agriculture to be able to warrant accumulation in terms of production and market competitiveness. So we have idle power. All of us that are paying for power are paying it more expensively. The challenge with informality, and I've said this before, Commissioner General, that are paying their loans, some of interest are paying for those that are defaulting on loans. Why? Because of informality. And I think the minister needs to pay attention to this, that when I formalize, otherwise we have many people remaining in the shadows. We have talked about long-term capital. I forgot to mention this now that the NSSF is here. Long-term capital. Can we relook at the NSSF Act? NSSF Act and Mr. Yavgaba, I really like your effort and resilience in terms of focus that you have put to this. And I want to that need to be done. I heard this morning, Parliament is converging to debate. Coffee is the biggest export earner that we have from agriculture. We had a problem with the street gigs and many others. Buildings are collapsing on students, on kids, and so on. We cannot reprimand engineers. Construction bills stuck in the Ministry of Works. And many others. I can go on and on. The local content here. The minister in this budget is giving us a list where he's putting in what duty that I'm trying to protect you so that you can do. It's about local content. How can we promote Google without these laws? Laws are very important, and when you have them, please enforce them. If you have a highway code, enforce it. The accidents that we are seeing, some of them, it's not that we don't have the laws. We have them, but we are not implementing them. I mean, look at this city, look at the jams and so on. Every one of us is falling into the red lights and passing the traffic officers, and no one can reprimand. I've said it before, and I continue to say it. If we have institutions that are weak and cannot enforce laws and reprimand, we are not going to see this budget. Then I used to mean I was here, government projects. I think as private sector, we are getting a little bit more disappointed on the implementation of government projects. And I will give some examples. I will give you the example of the expressway. We have borrowed money for the expressway. And all of us who are using the entire expressway by now are supposed to be paying for that road. Because you and me and that grandmother of mine who is in the village who never uses the expressway is supposed to pay back that. But today, we do not have a law that should warrant this. Why should this be? And it can go on for another year without this law. And people are using this law. But we have started paying back this law. Whose responsibility is it? 2, the northern bypass. I'm happy there's progress on, but I think we should have done better. Northern bypass has lasted 15 years. This is taxpayers. The Ginger Bridge, when someone does a bridge, and I'm really sorry for my president, I'm sorry for my president who is invited to open a road or a bridge without due briefing from the supervisors. We all know the embarrassment that our president went through. Only 3 months after the opening of that bridge, we had problems. They were explained, yes, but the image, all of us were celebrating this as first-class African bridge. I happen to come from Soka, you can imagine. The Swati factory, what's happening? Who did the business plan for this project? Under the current government corporation, who did the business plan? Not to understand that we should have had raw materials. And I can go on and on and on and on, time is up, but I really want to thank you very much. I know that we don't have a lot of time for discussion. I want to appreciate everyone, but more importantly, the Ministry of Finance for a very busy budget month that we have been involved as civil society and the private sector. A lot of engagements have happened. We have been part and parcel of the regional breakfast, and we think now that this has come to pass, we think it's going to be a routine and annual event as it were. So without any further ado, let me appreciate you all for coming through this morning. And I hope this is not the last event that we're going to have this month. I think we have another event on the 27th. That again, we invite a couple of people to really recast this budget and see how then we start the next budget cycle. I want to thank you and thank you indeed.
Thank you. A lot being talked about our debt. Uganda Revenue Authority and CISPAC have done a wonderful job. Join me in welcoming the gentleman that has been at the forefront in organizing all the events that happened this month, and now representing the permanent secretary and secretary to the treasury
to make his remarks. Thank you.
First of all, to thank and welcome everybody here. It's not every day, especially on our side, the ones who spend, that we get time to engage the taxpayers. So for that, I want to thank you for having the very big numbers. Of course, I want to appreciate the previous speakers, my colleagues on the panel, of course, the Commissioner General and her team, civil society organization, and of course, the private sector foundation, represented by Mr. Gideon Badagawa, the ED. Of course, I was getting worried that Mr. Gideon Badagawa was diverting from our spirit of partnership and trying to dampen the mood in this. We had a very good mood right from the beginning, and I was getting a little bit worried that. So I do hope and think that we are still in good mood for this dialogue. Now I'm going to make just a couple of remarks and comments. Number one is to talk about the budget month. Of course, you realize the minister has talked about the budget strategy, so I'm not going to dwell so much on the budget strategy. This year, building on the budget of last year, the year which is ending, we decided to have a whole budget month of activities explaining the budget. Now, the intention of the budget month was to ensure that we increase awareness about the budget and also get your views, as taxpayers, of course, as citizens, so that whatever your views you have, they should actually feed and influence the budget. So as we come to the end of this, budget month, we are really thankful, and we do hope that we've been able to achieve that major objective. And of course, we shall continue with this intervention. So as I said, we jointly organized the budget month with our Service Minister of Finance taking the lead, but partnering with URA, the Commissioner General, civil society organization, represented by CSPAC, and of course the Private Sector Foundation, Uganda. And I do believe that, and of course thank all our partners for the active participation in this budget month. As we all know, the budget is one fundamental and key instrument. And I think if there's one key message that we should be getting out of this whole process, is to understand that the budget is one key instrument that influences the policy of the government. And that's really the whole intention of these dialogues that we are arranging. So we want the citizens to know, first of all, the budget is for you. The budget is an instrument through which we collect taxes, but it's also the instrument through which we spend taxpayers' money. So on our side, as government, as Minister of Finance, yes, we want to encourage you to pay taxes, but we want to use the budget to explain the services that we deliver as government. And we believe that through your participation, you are able to appreciate and understand the services that government delivers. So it is a very important instrument that we encourage you to critically understand. Now, for this budget of the coming year, 2019-2020, now, when the minister made his presentation, I think there are some fundamental messages that he mentioned which come out of this budget. This budget is a very, very fundamental budget. The theme of the budget of industrialization for job creation and shared prosperity is not just a slogan, but it is something which is fundamental for the transformation of Uganda. And indeed, the minister's speech has tried to explain why we have chosen the theme of industrialization for the last 3 years, including this year. We believe that there's no way you can transform the economy of any country. There's no way you're going to create the jobs that we need. We don't every year. We have almost 600,000 entrants into the job market. You cannot create those jobs unless you industrialize the economy. So that's a fundamental critical factor that underpins the budget of financial year 1920. Now, as a country, how do we industrialize? We believe that we can only industrialize by taking advantage of our agricultural potential. So the question of industrialization in Uganda is based on agro-industrialization or agro-processing and adding value. But of course, looking at the entire agricultural value chain, right from research to production, and then of course to value addition. And we believe that by doing that, we are able to provide not just the jobs that are required, but also enhance the incomes of the population, particularly the 68% of the population which engage in agriculture. Now let me just briefly explain what we see as the opportunities, especially for the ordinary Ugandan citizen, a taxpayer, a business person, and an employed youth. What are the opportunities arising out of this budget? Number one, we have continued to build on the measures that have been taken over the years to ensure that we sustain our interventions in infrastructure development. There is no way you are going to build a foundation for the economy unless you have the requisite infrastructure. We have definitely built, we have succeeded in enhancing our road infrastructure, but we know that we need to build on other forms of infrastructure to be able to provide a conducive environment for the private sector to be able to thrive. So issues to do with rail transport, water transport, and air transport are areas which have been prioritized in the budget for financial year 2019-2020, of course in addition to road transport, just as my colleague said, which takes the biggest share of the budgetary resources. So we believe that by providing this infrastructure, then we'll be able to facilitate and also reduce actually the cost of doing business. When we provide electricity in terms of generation, which the country definitely has succeeded in doing, and of course when you break down the budget under energy, you will realize that actually the bulk of the resources are now focused on transmission. Now the whole essence is essentially to address the question which the private sector was putting on the table. We have now generated electricity. We definitely need to transmit this electricity. And of course, as we transmit the electricity, we also need to distribute the electricity. So all those key elements are definitely being handled as we speak now. As we speak, discussions are going on now regarding the concession of Umeme. Now, once we have agreed on the concession of Umeme, that will help Umeme now to negotiate for financing, private sector financing actually, which will be critical for upgrading the distribution network to ensure that the consumer of electricity actually accesses the electricity. As we speak now, we have been able to reduce, the cost of electricity, especially for, the medium and large scale, producers, especially for off-peak period. And I'm going to come to this point slightly later on. So that is, a fundamental issue, our opportunity that the budget of financial year 2019-2020 has provided. The minister did, the URA team did talk about the incentive structure, the incentive framework that has been provided. Now, the difference between this budget and the previous years is that now the incentives are properly defined transparently in the law. So they are not selective. So the incentives, the investment incentives, now will not depend on who knows the Commissioner General of URA, who knows the Minister of Finance, but they are defined in the law. So what we do encourage the population is understand, internalize the investment code, so that you understand where you fall and what kind of incentives you can actually take advantage. Oh, I saw one of my friends in Southern Papers, he was here, who is a big investor in Twice. Now the incentives are now well spread out in the law. All he needs is pick the law and go to the Commissioner General URA and provide evidence that is actually going to invest to that extent, and the investment incentives will be available for him. So the question of having transparent investment incentives, I think is a very big opportunity that the budget of financial 2019-2020 is actually providing. Now, one of the other constraints that we have been having as an economy is the cost of credit. The cost of credit. I know private sector is saying that these interventions are scattered. Now, these interventions are also important because we are targeting different groups. Okay? The intervention which focuses on a rural woman definitely cannot be the same intervention that focuses on an urban woman or a rural youth versus an urban youth, and the same way versus a large-scale investment. So the reason why we maintain these interventions is because we are targeting different groups, and I just want to mention some of these interventions. We are credit facility. We have over 300 billion shillings, and this is a facility where you can access credit at around 10%, specifically for agriculture. So we encourage people to take advantage of this available. This money is actually accessible across the country. You can access the resources from any of the participating banks. It is managed by the central bank, but of course the money is channeled through participating banks, and you can never access it wherever you are, as long as you have a branch in any of the different parts of the country. Now this is complemented by the agricultural insurance scheme to be able to underwrite agricultural risk. We established an agricultural insurance scheme 2 years ago, and this scheme is still functioning and underwrite agricultural risk because of the nature of agricultural lending. The Youth and Women Fund, as we speak now, including the revolving fund, we have close to 400 billion shillings, including the allocation for next year. 400 billion shillings, which is available under the Youth and Women Fund. And I want to really allay the fears which have been said. The Youth Fund, in some districts, in the very well-performing districts, the recovery rate is actually 90%. And this is actually on the record. There are districts, Busheni district, and this one can be checked, it's a fact. The Okoro district, I think it was Oyam. There are a number of districts which are already under the Youth and Women Fund. This money is not free actually. No, it is actually given to the people, but on the understanding that it will be repaid back, and it remains revolving. And as I say, the number of districts are already performing very, very, very well, and there is different evidence to this. So there is impact arising out of this Women and Youth Fund. So there you have almost 400 billion shillings, which you can actually access, across the country for youth and women projects. We continue to provide money in the microfinance, which again is an opportunity which the profession can take advantage of. In the coming year, we have provided 57 billion shillings under the microfinance support center to be able to access SMEs to access microfinance. We established an innovation fund under the Ministry of Science and Technology, but we're also we are getting financing from external funders to establish a fully-fledged incubation center. Okay? 200 million United States dollars is being negotiated to supplement the government innovation fund. I think the other opportunities relate to the whole structure of the budget. The budget of financial year 1920 is actually over 50% capital development. So it is not just a consumptive budget, it is a capital development budget. And for you as a business person, what does this mean? It actually means that you can take advantage of these projects that the government is implementing, take advantage of local content, and participate in providing whatever is required for these projects. So the question of local content is very critical for the budget of financial year 1920. If you look at the local content policy, we are not just looking at oil and gas. Definitely you need to take advantage of local content in oil and gas. But you can definitely take advantage of local content across all the investment projects that the government is implementing. I know private sector talked about the poor absorption of project resources and also implementation challenges. I want to inform you that over the last 3 years, the absorption of project funds, especially the money which is borrowed, in financial year 2015-2016, we absorbed only 27%, which was certainly a big problem. But in the last financial year, we were able to improve our absorption rate to about 70%. And of course, this is on account of deliberate measures put in place to ensure that we increase the absorption. Because definitely we know when we borrow, we're not absorbing. Of course, we are actually paying the commitment fees, all the costs which are associated with the public resources. So one of the concerns that the Ministry of Finance has been having is to put in place a mechanism to increase absorption of public resources. We have actually put up a policy, what we call a PIMS framework, Public Investment Management System. So what the PIMS framework does is to look at the project right from inception to post-project evaluation. The objective is that right at the beginning, you need to understand whether this project actually has the returns that you are talking about. Okay, right at the beginning, at inception. Now, if your project is not good enough, then actually you stop it at inception. So we have defined what, as I said, what we call the PIMS framework. Public Investment Management System, looking at all those different stages of preparing the project. When the project ends, evaluate the project and actually confirm whether the benefits accrued from the project were did accrue, and of course pick lessons, for the next phase of projects. We have institutionalized now discussions, regular interactions with the external financials. Now, one of the challenges we had in the past was, for example, if you have borrowed resources from the World Bank, okay? World Bank is as bureaucratic as governments. For every single expenditure you undertake, you have to have an objection. So in some cases, actually, you submit an objection to the World Bank, and it takes a couple of months before the objection is done. So we have institutionalized the mechanism now, where we continuously engage these external financials to ensure that all those administrative challenges are eliminated along the way of project implementation. And on account of that, our project implementation has definitely increased. The minister did talk about issues of skills development. So definitely will continue prioritizing skills development, especially through vocational education. Tourism, we have increased the budget of tourism. One of the areas where we are having a big contribution to the economy is of course tourism, which is now actually the single biggest foreign exchange earner for the country, but also in terms of the increase in the number of tourist arrivals. So government will continue to prioritize tourism as a sector because of the benefits which we know accrue from tourism. So I think those are just some of the, it's like a snapshot if you want, or some of the, my role in the ministry is actually not forex taxes. That is the role of Doris. Mine is to spend the money. Mine is to spend the money. That's why I'm employed. But of course, as you spend the money, I want you to get the comfort. Not just the comfort, actually. So it's your support. That as you spend the money, you also get interest in where this money is going. I think one of the things that people don't forget, actually, that you as a citizen, it is your obligation and duty as a citizen to go and question this public official who is spending the money on your behalf. If you are in the division of Kampala, go and find out. If you pronounce that there are going to be so many roads in Kampala or whatever it is going to be done, is it actually being done? It is your duty actually to do that. If you are in a locality, can you actually check whether the money which has been provided to the school, that school has been built, and the teacher has been paid, and the teacher is actually teaching. So I want to call upon you to ensure that you also take the responsibility, take the mantle of enhancing public accountability. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now is the time for you to actually give us feedback. Nga tusobola okubikola wano egyo gyayongezeddwa. Ng'ekigendererwa kwe kubeera nti ebintu ebyo bikolebwa wano tusobole okuzimba amakolero era n'emirimu gigonjibwewo. Mu lulimi lulyo era olwabadde oluzungu, omukulu owa domestic taxes yagambye nti nno omusolo ogwa VAT guno gugenda okubeera nga oluusi tugenda okulonda abantu abamu batuyambeko mu kugukuŋŋaanya bwe tulaba nti basuumuseemu, so nga ate nsuubira nti abalina obwangu bwange bakubutambuza mu bantu ab'enjawulo tuyingira mu kanyomero ak'ebibuuzo.
naye era tulina ebibuuzo ebiwandiike oyo awulira nti akaluubirirwa okubeera nti akwata akambwe nabyo tujja kubiddamu. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite the Minister of State for Minerals to just make his remarks before I can open up the discussion. Thank you. Minister of State for Minerals.
I take this opportunity with pleasure to thank you for having come to listen to the deliberations on how we collected the money and where we put them. When they say the budget, it is our time to get the money and deploy the money where it is supposed to go, according to the policy in place. I know there are different ways I've been hearing of pursuing. So when you are doing budgeting for in developed countries, you follow what they call the economic development, which is unbalanced. The unbalanced economic growth. Unbalanced because you don't have sufficient funds to address every aspect. And that's why we have choices. Some people say, why do you choose to build a road fast? Why do you do this? It's because we don't have sufficient resources. These collectors are not create happiness to get too much money. They must follow the law and say tax this, they find it deficient. And therefore, the policy makers follow the path of economic and balanced economic growth. You look at what is first, which will in future generate money. That's when they talk about roads, they talk about energy. Somebody was saying, correct the Ministry of Energy. We have requested the government, some money is borrowed because we don't have sufficient money, and that's capital intensive. Then we said we build this one. Then we transmit. How do we bring the tariffs down and so on? With the aim of making the country move. Water is its industries. The roads must convey people and services elsewhere, so as in the future you generate the income from industrialization and other aspects that generate money for the country. This one, I thank you.
You have changed the skyline of Nakawa division and Uganda at large by setting up a 22 state-of-the-art building that we are proud of. Thank you so much. Now I'm sure that we are saving over 7 billion every year in rent. Thank you so much. It's unfortunate that the Minister of Kampala has just left, but she talked about something very important that I have to conclude, and that is the issue concerning Kampala. Kampala as a city. Kampala as a city of Uganda. Kampala the hub. Kampala the face of Uganda. Kampala contributes over 70% to the national GDP. Kampala has 70% of the industries that are in Uganda. But the unfortunate bit is that less than one...
The government policy for the exporters. Like exporters, we bring a remittance in Uganda, we bring the foreign exchange, but we are not giving a proper platform. We are not giving a proper platform, and we are not united in one place as exporters. So please, I'm requesting that if someone can come and someone can guide me, and I can explain my problems which I'm facing. Every day when I'm at the airport, I face the problems. When I go to the Ministry of Agriculture to get my FIFO certificate, I get a lot of problems. At the same time, we bring remittance, we bring the foreign exchange in Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jagenda.
Unless we talk to them, unless we understand their problems, we are actually wasting time discussing the budget. So my alternative view is that assist industries produce at maximum capacity, then that is when jobs can be created. The last point I want to make is public expenditure. The government is too big at the national level and at district level. Why don't we reduce public expenditure?
Thank you.
There are ministers, there are officials.
Question hard.
Having 5 vehicles. Why don't you let them move in Ipsam like we do? Because I don't want so many vehicles. This can cut public expenditure.
Thank you.
When I was growing up, we had only district commissioners. The function of COW, the function of LC5 chair, and RDC can be fused into one to save this country 2 months expenditure. Thank you.
Towards the innovation, science and technology sector. The budget is talking about industrialization for job creation. But one of the problems the country is facing, you are saying that the goods are being produced out of low standard and we are facing counterfeit food on the market. It means that our youth are less innovative. But the government is allocating 186 billion. Are we going to spend the rest of our lives financing roads that are being washed away by water? Because we are seeing Mayanja is washing the rivers, the lakes, but the government is saying we are continuously funding the roads and the transport sector. So why aren't we financing the innovative sector of the country so that to create more jobs? Look at what markets has.
Tewali nsi ekulaakulana nga tesasudde emisolo. Tukimanyi ekyo twagala okwebaza Madama Paul amaanyi gataddemu okulaba nti ayongera eddala lya Uganda waggulu. Mbadde nsaba ffenna abali wano naddala bali ku panel waggulu tetusiime nnyo abantu bano bakungaanya olunaku olwaleero buli omu neyeemulugunya. Bwewaawo ffenna tetuweddeeyo nti abandyagadde okumanya ku bintu by'emisolo gye bali bangi nnyo ku ground era nandisabye Madam Commissioner General tukkirize enkiiko nga zino ndowooza tuzongere ne wansi okulaba nti abantu bangi batuukibwako kubanga abantu abasinga okuwa omusolo gye bali eyo wansi ku ground abandyagadde okumanya development za URA ne Ministry of Finance tukwebaza nnyo nyabo. Okwabula kwange koze okutono nandibadde nsaba Ministry of Finance eyogedde ku skills. Nze ntuusa omulanga gwange eri Ministry of Finance nti engeri His Excellency President Museveni ekintu kino gyakyongeddemu nnyo amaanyi ekya skills badde nsaba naffe twongeremu ddala amaanyi kubanga tulina abaana ku ground balina ebitone naye nga badibye n'ebintu byabwe tewali muntu abakwata ku mukono. Tubadde tusaba abafuna skills bazifune ate n'abazifunye baziganyirwemu wabula si mwana kusoma busomi ate skill ye nefiiraawo olwokuba nti talina ngeri gyatambuza mu mirimu gye. Ekirala kyenjagala okwebaza Madam Commissioner General nti okoze omulimu gwo mu URA era tukuyozaayoza okubeera omu ku bakyala ab'amaanyi mu Uganda kubanga tubiwulira ate era buli gye tulaga abantu bakwongerera ddala amaanyi bagamba nti omukyala akola akyusiza nnyo URA. Weewaawo mu URA temubulamu bulumulu olw'abantu abamu abaagala okuvumaganya gavumenti. Bayisiza bubi nnyo abantu babaggyeko ssente mu nkola enkyamu babanyigiriza nnyo era abantu okuyimirira abantu balaga obutali bumativu si gamba nti bavumirira emirimu gy'okola wabula bavumirira abantu abagezaako okuzimbulula ky'ozimba. Institutions zibadde nsaba okuwabula nti ziyinza obutagetinga stronga nga ffe kennyininyini netwongedde mu maanyi. Bwekiba kiri mu Ministry of Finance mwekennyini mutandika okuscrutinizinga abantu bammwe abakozi mwebuuza omukozi onaafuna emitwalo 8 golofa gyazimbidde mwaka gumu evuddewa gwe mbanga mbayina nga mbaofuwaningo IGG ng'akola omulimu gwe naye bwe tunaalinda gye mu bitongole byaffe tuyinza okuba ate mu ngeri emu oba endala emirimu gye tuyinza okuba nga tugitataganyiza. Ekirala bageza mu Ministry of Finance bamba mutuwadde ku ssente ng'ezo nga zizze eno ssente ezo muzifollowing up kubanga ffenna tukimanyi nti ssente zijja neziweebwa nezanawusingibwa TV zonna nezikwata ssente ezo naye ate nezitatuuka nezirina kukola ki butuuka. N'olwekyo nandisabye nti bamba mutuwadde ssente ng'omuzadde bw'anateeka ssente mu mwana we alina okumekinga sure nti omwana oyo asoma ayina ebyetaagisa tutusaba Ministry of Finance mututeekemu amaanyi okuba mutuwadde billions of shillings muzifollowing mulabe zitambudde zikoze omulimu gwe zikoze. Otherwise tugenda kubeera buli mwaka tufulumya ssente empitirivu ez'oluwa omusolo naye nga tezirina kyezikoze. Nolwekyo nze n'okulu nga mbeebaza mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala Madam Dorita Paul webale nnyo omulimu gw'okukola oli mukyala Mwamuli oli Iron Lady webale nnyo okubeera ng'oyimirira ku mazima webale nnyo okulwanirira ku bantu bempulidde b'olwaniridde ne Minister of Finance tubeebaza tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzege naye twadokutinga enkola ya President tuve mu ntebe naddala ba managers muve mu ntebe mukirye ku ground mubeere mu bantu togenda kubeera mu ntebe otegere kiruma abantu go on ground nga President bwakola n'ava mu ntebe yeesingira ddala omunene mu nsi nakirya ku ground alabe ebiruma abantu mukirye ba managers ku ground mubuuze abantu ebibaluma nga temukolanakola kintu kyonna mubengejenge abantu abo babeere nga bateesa nammwe nkola yonna otherwise okunatula mu ntebe zammwe temusalirawo eyo bwebwa okuvumagana wansi ku ground okutagenda kuggwawo so ze bateesaba community engagement nga ba managers mukiridde ku ground mu bantu ne bafunako ekituufu ekibali ku mitima neyanziza nnyo neyanzeege kula Katonda n'ensi yange. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, the RCC Kampala, lessons that you have shared with us, and we will strive to keep doing better. I think we can all agree. Thank you so much for attending this engagement and for all the others that we have organized. We had 6 before this one in the various regions, and this one highlighted the one for Kampala. So thank you so much. I'd like to thank the Minister of Finance, represented here by the Director Budget, that this year the budget month has been extremely exciting. It has been very fruitful, and all because you have taken the lead in getting us to showcase what the budget does, that it is not only a document that is read on a Thursday afternoon, on a hot afternoon in Parliament, but it is actually the lifeblood of this country. The budget is the lifeblood of this country. It shows us the 3 parts of the pipeline of how our country moves. The first part of the pipeline is revenue generation. Second part of the pipeline, very, very important because it bridges the two, expenditure. And the last part of the pipeline is service delivery. So thank you very much, the Ministry of Finance, for that. My appreciation also to CS Bank and Private Sector Foundation for the invaluable partnership that we've enjoyed with you also in the budget month. CS Bank specifically for coming on board and not being, civil society likes always being on the other side and criticizing. But I think it's good that you have come on board to help us in budget advocacy from this side of the table. And I think you've enjoyed the time that you have spent with us. We are not as bad as you always portray us to be. I would like to thank you, the taxpayers. You're the reason we are standing here today. If it were not for you, what is it we'll be talking about? Thank you so much. This year you're delivering 16 trillion shillings. And next year you are going to deliver 20 trillion shillings from this country, Uganda. Imagine. This is something that you should be very proud of. And I always ask myself, 10 years ago, 2007, 2008, URA only collected 3 trillion shillings. How did we even manage to survive as a country with 3 trillion? Now we are collecting 16 trillion. So I think we need to be proud of ourselves, the strides that we have made. I'd like to thank my team, both those on the panel and those in the audience, those that have organized this. Thank you very much for pulling off another successful event. And let us not get tired. Let us not get tired of deploying our energies in serving our taxpayers and our other clients. I'd like to thank finally the Hotel Africana and all the logistics teams that have enabled us to host yet another successful budget engagement. Thank you all for coming. God bless you all, for God and my country.
Bali.